But all ye let the wicked for my Father as we patient, peace, pray, Lord. Search our praying on tonight. How do you in with time. So woman, looked at this, taking looked at topics like why I, my research also found like that. Also found friendship. And this is there's some other lies with you. Added M on the G. Another reason had a desire. By Jesus. The other thing, Lord Peter, one real How do you pass out not now? Don't hear okay. Here's a tip. Make the choice to someone else. Where did you be? Okay. Also, we end up setting boundaries. So normally what we do is when we set boundaries, put up a defense to avoid someone taking advantage of your boundaries. That scripture reference, though, when it comes to talking about being, is found in Galatians 6 verse 9. I'm saying it's all right, all right. It says, let us not be in due season if we think not. That mean is give up doing what you. Sometimes it does seem like I'm used over again, but if you're doing it for the right reason, have the right motive, and doing what you're well doing. Why? Because there is a blessing for if you keep doing what you're supposed to. Now, you may not believe that. That read would faint not me. Don't give up. Don't give up with. I got a way of blessing you. Why it's so important that things go on at the church. I'm all I can. Things are going on in the community. I can help. Times we have these cookouts at home, and I don't mind do all of that. It's a little exhausting, I believe. on all acts. This help to make. Now we have these unions with our classes. Having don't mind holding my sleep. Because I want to see not wrong question like that. You're the one that's in control. You know what's going on. Know what you're going to know how much. And I say, right reason. You're not weary. Due season, yes, you should reap if you faint not. I had a scripture reference in there to back that up to Luke 6, I believe it is in 36. I want to read Luke 6, chapter, I believe it is 30. And it says here, and if ye do good to them which do good to you, what thanks have ye? Now, just going to do good by folks who turn around and do you. What thanks have ye? For sinners also lend to sinners, but watch this now, to receive as much again. Sinners actually end up lending to receive because they are lending. I'll say, but love ye your enemies and do good and lend. Oh, y'all hear that? Hoping for nothing again, and your reward shall be great, and ye shall be the children of the highest. For he is kind unto the unthankful and to the evil. Be ye therefore merciful, as your Father also. So therefore, sin. Now, God made goods over gifts that He placed in your possessions. Sometimes you have to really, really watch. In so doing good, people know that you're on. This is an opportunity to set up. Second, I'm going to share this with you. We're going to move on. Working there in town, doing the arena, and some up. So I had this brother come up to me. He said, "Can I dollars from you? Pay you back?" I gave him the $10. Ain't right? Paid me back. But he came back, borrowed and more again. Uh, Came back, paid me back. Now he wanted to borrow not 10, 50. And so my spiritual body, mind kicked in gear. And I said, brother, just can't do that. I knew was set up. Sometimes you have to allow the Spirit to guide you in situations being exploited by like that. I don't know exposed anything. Very, very different because if you're a person that is one that is a doer, one that has a there are people out there that take advantage of you because then you beware of situations. But then as a whole, things do well, watching you, watching who Question or comment on that little sidebar there? Any got to run too fast. So I want to get to this next little point here that I like and great deal, right? But I really, really want to go to this thing about the manipulate. Manipulate. If I had to tell you about a person that was without having to have to, I think he would tell you probably know everything that was the job that was mind. That was hard. That's how things start now. Doing things motives. Because a lot of times you're used by something called a manipulator. Manipulator. Person who skillfully but deceptively controls others. Okay. Now, world is those like those who similarly manipulate. And I took the liberty to jot down some things, some characteristics, got some home. But I want you to listen to this. And you know, a lot of times people are manipulated until they don't realize what's going on with them because they're not really seeing it. And then sometimes you can see, they can't see. You can tell your child about a situation and let them know, look, being manipulated. But they will never, ever hardly see. Or not just your child. It could be your spouse. Because of the about that person. Never, never really. Because they don't know the characteristic later. I said, first of all, one that has, and he's dishonest. Now, along with that, have no problem lying. Problem. Have no problem stretching the travel north for long. Same spot I was. Gentleman got by the manipulator. Going any further. They are comfortable in trying to do whatever they want. Another thing about a guilt. They will take tripping, they use a situation on you to get control of you. And then sometimes a manipulator playing the victim. The other one is always victimized. They twist the situation to make themselves always look like they are the victim. You ever seen anything like that? Mm-hmm. And then the word that behavior or their attitude contradicts their behavior. They look like an apple tree, but it's an orange dropping down. They're not who they really, really say they are. You got to watch it because they be saying one thing, acting a different way. Going to a meeting that, hello, brother, how you doing? Smiling, going, to know good way. Don't even want to be around you. You know what I'm saying? And the other thing is emotional blackmail. These are those that are using threats, pressure to intimidate, get what they want. I don't know. I got to go back up there, but just think about it. You think about that, but will actually get what they want. Some manipulate, they can do it. Have folks scared to death. Make a move. Talking about. Then there's a thing called gaslighting. I looked at that. It says denying reality to the point of making one question. You know it's supposed to be right, but for some reason or another, right seem wrong. Wrong seem right. How can you look on news and say it didn't happen? I ain't going nowhere with it. Love bombing, using excessive attention and flattery, affection, and control. Watch that. Flattering too much or flattering too much. All right? In the building. And something else will ignore boundaries. Even when a person has said that they not tolerate, manipulator does, after you didn't say not going to tolerate, there they are, walking across the boundaries you already see. They ignore whatever you say, manipulate. And something else, manipulate, isolating. They will drive a wedge between friends, family members. Not going to be satisfied until they can separate. That's a manipulator. I think somebody know what I'm talking about. Won't, for some reason or another, ain't happy with the relationship you might have with the male, whatever. It could be one family member tends to get close to another. All of a sudden, that family member gets jealous, and all of a sudden, they'll figure out a way to separation. Those two. Okay. That's called idea to get. And then exploiting. That is exploiting weakness. They'll actually see your weak, find out where is your weak point. What they'll do, they'll start playing. Whatever your weakness, that's what they That's in put it this way. Brother has a problem, alcohol. Brother is struggling trying to give alcohol. Why would you want to invite him down, put a can in front of him, something else in front of him? That's to get him to recognize saying that he took. But here the thing is, once you get him to take that stand, you got it. I'm not with me. I had this brother years ago, issue, gave it up. And working in the church, paid for work. About 12:30 one night, 1 o'clock, I knock on my door. At 12:30, hey, so I had to do help the man. I began to work with this other friend of mine. I hate to budge y'all. International bus, pull like a pillow. Sneak up to the church with a chain. Go down there trying to help the brother out. And so we taken down there, just in. It was laying sideways, two wheel, but the hard two wheel was sitting up off the in the world. Took that thing and looked on it. Thought I was driving a crane, boy. I pulled that thing, cleaned it up, got him home, bus back, parked it real nice, got my check. Nobody knew the difference. I talked to that. What he told me. I gave it up. And went to my friend's house. Had this out. So I name of it is that's the manipulate. You don't come out and see, Lord, you, and I'm gonna show you, you ain't all that you. Therefore, they'll find your thought you weak. Gonna let you know. I don't care how strong. Care what age. I don't care how long you've been. You got some weaknesses. Have some. Now, some of the weaknesses that you have, fortunately, somebody knows what your weakness is. And as the opportunity may arise, and use that opportunity. That's what a manipulator would do. And if they start doing that, you might say to silence them, with threat of bringing it up, you want to maybe cooperate with keep the peace. got control of you, in your mind, your pocketbook. That's what it means, according to some. But I like this right here. It says passive aggression. Time people are manipulative. What they'll do, talking to y'all alone, all of a sudden, okay, trying to figure out, well, silent treatment. Anybody know what I'm talking about? In there? The whole idea, you start searching, why? When as soon as you do that, all of a sudden they got an ulterior motive just for you. Because what they want is they realize they can't stand that silence. So once they get that on you, then all of a sudden other areas where you. And the last thing, blame. A lot of blame times going on other president happening or a government. Else for what? I may have asked on. I know time to time how to deal with it. That is ending. I want to let you know something. I don't care how long you've been. Always gonna get. As you look at these things, you have to see whether or not I fit the mold. One of these right. Me that manipulate. Well, I have to know this. What is motivating you, holding you, is motivating them. Is a panic speech. Now, is not going to agree. I don't care what you do, it ain't going to agree. Always get mad at it. That's what you doing that. You can beware demonic speech. Brothers and sisters, demonic. I have not personally. Or that's been and talking about wrong. One guy challenging him, challenging him, challenging him. Yeah. Who's the real preacher in it? I told him. You know what that finger pointed right? That was because then this guy was assuming, oh, they didn't recognize. They didn't recognize. Satan fears. Sometimes when you don't feel that you have power, others. All right, let me give you a case right quick, and then we're going to wind things down. I want you to look at those 12 things. Tell me which one. Here's the case. The employee is going to be fired under anyone outside one of those fired to emotional, someone said emotional blackmailing. Definitely. That happens very good. Well, a pastor with a loving church end up resigning because a small clique group turned the hearts of the. Which one you think that is? I think it's isolated. Well, let's look at one more. An individual has the gift of gab. Gab means mouth. That mouth. They'll lot down in a swamp. Mouth. An individual has the gift of gab to the point that one listens long enough. Right mean wrong. Wrong was which one? It's like you asking yourself, is it me? Is it what? And if I lost my mind, that is exactly what I think. And so, as wind is down, manipulators are not limited to the. You're going to find it all the way through the Bible, all through the Bible. But I just thought one particularly, and let's go to Genesis third chapter, and greatest examples of that. One of the examples counted Genesis chapter, and in at that first along with it says, watch this. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the Lord had made. And he said unto the woman, yea, has God said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the tree of the garden, but the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the God has said, ye shall not eat of it, touch it, lest ye die. Watch this. Watch this. And the serpent said unto ye shall not surely die. But God doeth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened. Ye shall be as gods, knowing good and he was a manipulator. Which one you think would that refer to? Number one, telling a lie. deception right there. And then, what I like to do here is just let you know that even if you're considered sometimes not, you may be the victim. Sometimes you're not the victim. You are the manipulator. And there is a punishment for the manipulator. Watch this. Go over to verse number 14. And the Lord said unto the serpent, y'all know all this, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle, and above every beast in the field. And upon thy belly shalt thou go, and the dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. You got to understand something. Satan walked upright. Serpent walked upright. When he did, God was displeased, cursed him. That's the being a manipulator. Now, out of this right. There are some other person is Galatians 6 and 7 definitely lies. Galatians 6 and 7, very familiar passage, and it's something that we really, really need to think about. It says, "Be not deceived. God is not mocked. Whatsoever soweth, that he also reap." Sometimes we get angry over the fact that some want to go do some things themselves. But what we got to do is realize that person is going to be handled. There's nothing you can do to handle it, but that person is going to be handled. And sometimes we be in situations where things have happened, we've been manipulated. We want to take action ourselves to try to straighten that thing out. But there comes a time, I use this in our last lesson, that I like to use a portion of the God give me the serenity to accept the things. Come on with me. Here you go. But the first part of that, serenity to accept the things you ain't gonna change or manipulate. I don't care what. Oh, honey, child, you sweet. In my eyes, there. Walks, he just glad. Now, I know he set me up one time, but hey, I believe that I can pray for him. I believe I can change him. That's a lie. You're not going to change. Sometimes you got to understand some things that's beyond. That's some things you just cannot change. A certain way, cannot. It ain't going to happen. But the good thing about that is that whatever someone sows, they're going to reap. So that's to help you deep. Sowing and reaping, same thing. Do like to plant like a nice garden. Work too much. Probably do. Man placed them. So what happens here is if you place corn seed, one corn kernel, and that corn plant grows up and makes a seed. Think about how many ears corn is on that stalk. And think about how many kernels that you're going to get off that one stalk. That's what it's talking about. You may do just a little bit, but you're going to reap a whole lot more. on down the road. That's to give you the idea that don't you worry about it. Are set up by. Don't you try to do anything. What you do, I often say, let go, let God help. And then there's something else in Proverbs 12 and 22. Hurry down to it. Proverbs 12 got number 2, got 2 on them. Proverbs 12 and 22. It says this here. That person that's saying things about. Look what it says. Lying lips are abomination, Lord. But they that dwell truly are his. Abomination is things that God hates it. Does. Like in Satan. Person hates that. Well, as I'm thinking about that, I thought about how abomination that God does. I know this is kind of off key just a little bit. Come together. I want you to go to Proverbs. Probably already know. Proverbs 6. Probably already been exposed to this. These are things. Remember this. You don't already know this. Proverbs it says here, these 6 things doeth the Lord hate. Yea, 7 are about. These are things that God hates. Fortunately, manipulator characterized by a lot of this abomination here. Look at what it says: a proud look, and a lying tongue, and a hand that has shed innocent blood. Look at that. A heart that devises wicked imagination, feet that run swift to me. Look at that. A false witness speaketh lies, he that soweth discord on the brother. Ain't him. Ain't that her? My son, keep thy father's commandments and forsake not the law of thy mother. It says, bind them continually in thy heart. Well, those are those items that a person, 16 through 19, those are the 7 abominations God. So, and I wanted to mention to you, wind down, if you are found yourself manipulated, has been one thing that'll help. Romans 12 and 19. Romans 12 and 19. If you're in a situation where you've been wrong, and you know, the first thing you want to do is get even. You got to figure out a way how you're going to get back at that right. Setting you up. And this is something you've already seen before. I know you have. Dearly beloved, avenge not yourself. Try to get, but rather give place unto wrath. For it is written, what? Vengeance is mine. I will repay, said the Lord. What helps you deal with a situation? I may not be able to get that rascal, but God will. That'll help you go on with your life. Do you realize if you walk around upset because someone done something set you up like that, you're taking time off your life with work. Because that person going on about their business, they're going to the next person. But what you got to do is figure out a way to let that thing go. Now, hold on a minute. Here's the thing that'll help you deal with that individual that we're talking about. First of all, you got to be able to recognize manipulation. Recognize them. Now, when you see people coming up, size them up. Size them up. Recognize that they are manipulative. Then what you do, you set boundaries. So you don't let them inside your circle so quick. Don't take them into your good grace. You set boundaries about how close they can get to you. The other thing is that when you see when one approach you, they don't get upset. Don't go off. Pastor always talks about how they don't go off. They come. Then something else you got to do. Limit time that you spend with the individual. Now look, Pastor, look, Reverend, I got to go to work. They're going to be at work. I got to see them every day. Yeah, you got to see them every day, but you ain't got to hang with them. You got your position, got that position. Limit the time that you spend with them. But not only that, don't give them your business. Limit what information that you put in there, because that kind of person, manipulator, will use what you give them and turn around and use it. And then in a situation where you've seen that, seek friendship elsewhere. Seek a friend somewhere. How you gonna know? It will let your spirit and their spirit gonna agree. That spirit would agree. That let you know sometimes pretty comfortable. Can't feel comfortable. Spirit let you know. And then sometimes my brothers and sisters just got to do walk. Last thing about manipulator you don't realize time is coming. Manipulator don't get up. In Romans 1, verse 20, Romans 1, there is something. And this is for God. He will reject this if they are manipulated, guilty of some abominations that the Lord spelled out. It says, and even as they did like unto the knowledge, God gave them over to a reprobate mind. Do those things which reprobate means a mind that is corrupt, worthless. Worst thing you can do, God's in mercy. That is that individual. That innocent are manipulated. It's something to think about. But if are the ones that victimize by manipulation, they're like, hey, question or comment? That's a quick. I meditated on this because usually or sometimes go use the word use. Other comments? Glad to see you. Pray that the next. Pleasant. Know he'll be. He'll give us hope that we're quite a few things. Tony, Tony, Heavenly Father, we services, Lord, as praise, put in your inheritance. Lord, as we close essence of part of the being ask you bless pastor, ministry, to live him, Lord. Praying, Lord, bless him and take him. Also ask, Lord, you deacons touch each for doing their best. Bless your trust. Lord, I ask your blessings upon fire, Lord. All in bless them, Lord. Glory, man. Bless the body as a bless us, Lord. Your church without a church, Father, lukewarm. Ready, Lord, to receive not only help us, Lord, conscious, Lord. Our best witness, not the words from help us to testimony. Lord, help us not help our love as it shines, Father. Now, Lord, I ask your blessings and bless him. Watch over. And Lord, I'm praying right now. Ponder. Bless her. Father, we lost a past funeral. Pray your blessing. There's no real good time to holiday. Asking your blessings of so many others that bless, Lord. Praying your blessing. This community area of life. Touch now. Pastor has plans of praying, Lord. Maybe this path. But not only I'm praying for this community. Bless us. Because we're all in this. That is, Father, seek the laws for Christ, man. Bless us in it. Lord, what we have fail, Lord. Give us, Lord. Search your heart. Find anything that's Bible to you. Cast it out. My prayer that you clean heart, do right speak.